Denmark, land of the Danes. From Viking fortifications to grand Renaissance palaces, Denmark is home to some of the most breathtaking and historically significant castles in Europe, each with its own unique story. Many were built as symbols of power, serving as the residences of Denmark's kings and queens, while others played crucial roles in military defense, shaping the course of the nation's history. So, stay with us for a few minutes as we explore 10 of the most amazing Danish castles and palaces. Frederiksborg Castle. Located in Hillerød, Frederiksborg Castle is a stunning example of Renaissance architecture and the largest castle in Scandinavia. Built in the early 17th century by King Christian IV, the castle now houses the Museum of National History. The museum's vast collection includes portraits, historical paintings, and decorative arts that span over 500 years of Danish history. The castle's interior is richly adorned with intricate woodwork, ornate ceilings, and beautiful tapestries. One of the highlights is the castle chapel, which survived a devastating fire in 1859 and features a magnificent Baroque organ. The surrounding Baroque garden, with its meticulously manicured hedges and beautiful fountains, is perfect peaceful retreat. You can take a leisurely boat ride on the castle lake to enjoy picturesque views of the castle and its reflection in the water. The nearby town of Hillerød provides additional attractions, including charming shops, cafes, and the scenic Frederiksborg Castle gardens. Rosenborg Castle. Constructed in the early 17th century as a pleasure palace by King Christian IV, one of Denmark's most ambitious and influential monarchs, Rosenborg Castle stands as a stunning example of Dutch Renaissance architecture. Completed in 1624, this fairy tale castle was designed not as a military fortress but as a lavish royal residence meant for relaxation and entertainment. Over time, however, it became a treasury of Denmark's most precious artifacts. Today, it is home to the Danish crown regalia, including the breathtaking crown of Christian V, encrusted with diamonds, pearls, and rubies. One of the most fascinating historical events linked to Rosenborg is its role during the British attack on Copenhagen in 1801 and 1807. As war loomed over Denmark, the castle was used to safeguard vital state documents and royal treasures. You can explore its richly decorated rooms, including the Great Hall, where the coronation thrones are guarded by 3 life-sized silver lions. The castle is surrounded by the beautiful King's Garden, which is Denmark's oldest royal gardens, where you can enjoy leisurely walks among sculptures, flower beds, and manicured hedges. Christiansborg Palace. This is the only building in the world that houses all 3 branches of a nation's government, the executive, legislative, and judicial, while also being a former royal residence. Located on the small island of Slotsholmen in central Copenhagen, Christiansborg Palace has been the heart of Danish power for centuries. The current palace, completed in 1928, is the 3rd iteration of the structure, as the previous 2 were destroyed by devastating fires in 1794 and 1884. Originally built in the 18th century by King Christian VI, Christiansborg was intended to be the grandest royal palace in Denmark, showcasing the absolute power of the monarchy. However, after the 1794 fire, the royal family moved to Amalienborg, and Christiansborg gradually became the seat of government. Today, it houses the Danish Parliament, the Supreme Court, and the Prime Minister's office, making it the epicenter of Danish politics. You can also explore the palace's underground ruins, which reveal remnants of the original medieval Copenhagen castle that stood on the site before Christiansborg was built. Egeskov Castle. This is one of the best preserved Renaissance water castles in Europe, and it still stands on wooden piles submerged in a lake. Located on the island of Funen, this stunning castle was built in 1554 by nobleman Franz Brockenhus during a time of political unrest. Designed as a defensive stronghold, Egeskov's unique construction includes a double wall system with hidden staircases and secret escape routes, ensuring protection in case of attack. The castle's foundation is an engineering marvel. Wooden oak piles driven deep into the lakebed have kept it standing for nearly 500 years, giving it the name Egeskov, which means oak forest in Danish, a reference to the massive amount of oak timber used. Today, Egeskov Castle is a living piece of history and one of Denmark's most visited attractions. The interior transports visitors back in time with its well-preserved banquet halls, antique furniture, and the famous Titania's Palace, an intricate dollhouse said to be the most elaborate in the world. The castle's grounds are equally spectacular, featuring beautifully landscaped gardens, hedge mazes, and Denmark's oldest preserved moat system. Egeskov Castle is a must-visit destination that blends Renaissance elegance with modern-day attractions. Kronborg Castle. Immortalized as Elsinore in Shakespeare's Hamlet, the Kronborg Castle is one of Denmark's most renowned cultural landmarks. Located in Helsingør, this magnificent Renaissance castle dates back to the 16th century and is considered as a UNESCO World Heritage Site. Make sure to explore the opulent royal apartments, the grand ballroom, and the eerie dungeons where the legendary figure Holger Dansk is said to slumber. The castle's Maritime Museum offers insights into Denmark's naval history, and the scenic views of the Øresund Strait are simply breathtaking. Every summer, the castle's courtyard becomes a stage for world-class performances of Hamlet, bringing the timeless tragedy to life in its historic setting. The surrounding Kronborg grounds are perfect for a leisurely stroll, with well-maintained gardens and picnic areas. The nearby town of Helsingør boasts charming streets, quaint cafes, and the impressive MS Maritime Museum of Denmark, housed in a former dry dock. Amalienborg Palace. Amalienborg Palace in Copenhagen isn't just a magnificent Rococo-style complex. It's the official residence of the Danish royal family and one of the best places in the world to witness a modern monarchy in action. Built in the 1750s, the palace consists of 4 nearly identical mansions surrounding an octagonal courtyard, all designed by architect Nikolai Egeskov as part of King Frederick V's grand vision for a new, elegant district of Copenhagen. Originally intended as aristocratic residences, the palace became a royal home in 1794 after a devastating fire destroyed Christiansborg Palace. Since then, it has been the center of Danish royal life, witnessing countless historical events, including the occupation of Denmark during Second World War, when King Christian X defiantly rode his horse through the streets of Copenhagen as a silent protest against the German forces. One of Amalienborg's most iconic traditions is the daily changing of the Royal Guard, a spectacle where soldiers in blue uniforms and bearskin hats march through the city before performing a ceremonial shift at noon. You can explore the Amalienborg Museum or enjoy stunning views of the Frederiksberg Church, which located near the waterfront, with a direct sightline to the Copenhagen Opera House. Frederiksberg Palace. This palace was originally built as a lavish summer retreat for Denmark's royals, but later became a prestigious military academy. Perched on Velby Hill in Copenhagen, this stunning Italian Baroque-style palace was commissioned by King Frederick IV in 1699, after he was inspired by his travels to Italy, and was the permanent home of King Christian VI. The palace evolved over the years, with elegant expansions transforming it into one of the most refined royal residences of its time. It remained a favored retreat for Danish monarchs until the early 19th century, when it was repurposed as the Royal Danish Military Academy in 1869, a function it still serves today. The palace has witnessed key historical moments, including state meetings and diplomatic gatherings, as well as its connection to the Napoleonic Wars when Denmark sought to maintain its neutrality. Although the palace itself is not open to the public due to its military function, you can still admire its grand exterior and explore the beautiful Frederiksberg Gardens, one of Copenhagen's most picturesque green spaces. There are guided tours at Frederiksborg Castle on the last Saturday of each month. You can visit Frederiksborg Castle's website for more information about guided tours for groups. Designed in the English landscape style, the gardens feature winding canals, romantic bridges, hidden grottos, and even a Chinese pavilion. Nearby, the Copenhagen Zoo, one of the oldest in Europe, offers another attraction for you. Hammershus Castle. This is the largest medieval fortress ruin in Northern Europe and once played a key role in the power struggles between Denmark, the Church, and foreign invaders. Perched dramatically atop a 74-meter-high cliff on the island of Bornholm, Hammershus Castle was originally built in the late 13th century by the Archbishop of Lund as a stronghold against the Danish crown. Throughout its turbulent history, the fortress changed hands multiple times, serving as a political and military stronghold for bishops, Danish kings, and even Swedish forces. One of its most dramatic moments came in 1658 when Swedish troops besieged the castle, leading to the eventual surrender of Bornholm. However, just a year later, local islanders revolted against Swedish rule, reclaiming the island for Denmark in a daring act of defiance. Despite being abandoned in the 18th century and falling into ruin, Hammershus remains an awe-inspiring sight, with its towering walls, gates, and remnants of medieval halls still standing against the rugged coastal backdrop. The castle offers a fascinating glimpse into medieval warfare and island defense strategies. You can explore the ruins, walk along the defensive walls, and enjoy panoramic views of the Baltic Sea. Nearby, a modern visitor center provides interactive exhibits about the castle's history, including 3D reconstructions of what it once looked like. Hammershus is also surrounded by scenic hiking trails, making it a perfect destination for history lovers and outdoor enthusiasts alike. Tranekaer Castle. This castle is one of Denmark's oldest inhabited castles, with a history spanning over 800 years. Located on the island of Langeland in southern Denmark, this striking red brick castle sits atop a hill, offering breathtaking views of the surrounding countryside. Its origins date back to the 12th century when it was built as a fortress to protect the region. Over the centuries, it has been expanded and transformed into a grand noble residence, becoming the property of the powerful Ahlefeldt-Lorvik family in 1659, who still own it today. The castle's long and dramatic history includes its involvement in the Count's feud from 1534 to 1536, a civil war that shaped Denmark's future, and later, it served as a stronghold during the Napoleonic Wars. Despite its medieval origins, Tranekaer Castle has embraced art and innovation. The surrounding park, known as Tikken, is a unique open-air museum featuring large-scale landscape art installations that blend seamlessly with nature. While the castle itself remains a private residence and is not open for regular tours, its exterior, gardens, and the charming village of Tranekaer nearby offer plenty to explore. The Hermitage Hunting Lodge. This was designed as a private royal retreat where Danish kings could enjoy lavish hunting banquets away from the formalities of court life. Nestled deep within Dyrehaven, a sprawling deer park north of Copenhagen, this stunning Baroque-style lodge was built between 1734 and 1736 by architect Laurits de Thura under the orders of King Christian VI. Unlike Denmark's grand palaces, the Hermitage was never meant for permanent residence, but rather as an exclusive venue where the king could entertain distinguished guests during royal hunts. The lodge's name, Hermitage slotted in Danish, refers to a now-lost mechanical dining system that allowed meals to be served without the presence of servants, creating a true Hermitage experience of privacy and solitude. Despite its relatively small size, the lodge is a masterpiece of Baroque architecture, featuring intricate stucco ceilings, richly decorated interiors, and breathtaking views of the surrounding parkland. Dyrehaven itself is a UNESCO-listed site, home to thousands of free-roaming deer and a popular destination for nature lovers, walkers, and cyclists. While the lodge remains under royal ownership and is only open to the public on select guided tours, you can admire its striking exterior year-round. Every autumn, the lodge becomes the centerpiece of the Hubertus Hunt, a spectacular equestrian event attended by Denmark's royal family. And there you have it, 10 of Denmark's most stunning castles and palaces, each with its own fascinating history and charm. If you enjoyed this journey, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more captivating explorations of history, culture, and travel. Hit that notification bell so you never miss an update. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next adventure. Until then, happy travels!